Joining us now is the president of Convention of States Action, Mark Meckler. Mark, thanks for being here. We're not going to get into the nuts and bolts of how this happens, but effectively our founders gave the people a recourse if the federal government got too big to call an amending convention. What is the goal of this movement of Convention of States?
Look, very simply put, Pete, it's to change where decisions are made. The founders intended that decisions would be made close to home with the people in the states and in the localities. Today, that power is amassed by the federal government. We see it 87,000 new FBI agents. We see it with what's going on with the DOJ being weaponized against the American people. So the goal is take power from D.C., give it back to the people.
Get a little bit more specific, if you would. What types of amendments would you like to see proposed?
Yeah, well, the amendments that the American people broadly want, like term limits for members of Congress, which is now supported by 85% of the American people. Term limits also for bureaucrats, what we now call the deep state, the heads of these agencies, the employees of these agencies that now favor the federal government over the American people. Balanced budget amendment to force the federal government to live within its means, tax caps, spending caps, and then amendments that would take power away from the federal government, for example, saying they can't deal with education or energy or the environment or healthcare. Again, these are things that were all intended for the people in the states, and we have the power to take that power away from the federal government.
And you're being effective. So I believe it's 19 states have already passed Article 5 in their state legislatures. You need to get to 34. I've noticed a lot of criticism for Convention of States recently. The New York Times and others. The left is coming after you guys.
Yeah, they are. In fact, former senator from Wisconsin, very liberal guy, Russ Feingold, just wrote a book attacking us, and that's been widely covered, MSNBC, New York Times. And what they're really worried about is they see this for what it is. They say it's a serious movement. They say that we're going to take power away from D.C. and give it back to the states. We're going to gut the administrative state. And they're worried about that because they amend the Constitution all the time simply by things like executive fiat, by the president signing executive orders or by the courts doing it for them. They don't like the idea that the people are about to take power away from D.C.
I'm a huge fan of Convention of States and what you're doing, Mark. If our viewers wanted to get involved in this movement, how would they? What does that look like?
It's really easy. Go to conventionofstates.com, sign the petition there, and then click the Take Action tab and volunteer. Because, Pete, I know you're a fan. Obviously, I've been doing it for a long time, but we need your viewers to get involved at conventionofstates.com.
Conventionofstates.com. By lobbying your state legislature, you can be a part of a movement that reins in an out-of-control federal government. And knowing Mark, knowing this organization, it is a worthy cause needed today more than ever. Conventionofstates.com. Mark Meckler, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pete.
You got it.
I'm here live in Philadelphia at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. When you hear the phrase lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, these are the folks we should think of, those who anonymously gave their lives. Well, today you have a chance to volunteer. You need to volunteer for conventionofstates.com, the movement that's going to save the country. These folks were willing to step up and give everything. We need you to give just a little bit. Go to conventionofstates.com and volunteer today.